Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Just out on a steezy run today. I'm on a bit of a transition week. I'll start my marathon training next Monday. It's in like 4 days time, so I'm just doing kind of an easier, less intensive week this week, just to give the legs a bit of a break, and then I'm full on into marathon training for 14 weeks. So today, thought I'd get a little vlogging while I'm jogging. So today we're going to look at how do you put together a plan for your weekly mileage, how do you come up with your weekly volume, how much is too much and what's not enough. So yeah, just a quick vlog today on that. So yeah, it's aimed at more like beginner runners, those that maybe haven't ran consistently or used the training plan, or maybe just run ad hoc. This should be useful in terms of how I think you should pop together a weekly training plan, come up with your weekly volume, and then how you can increase that gradually, safely. So yeah, dive straight in. Okay, so the biggest mistake I think a lot of people make is kind of planning the running you want to do and then trying to make that fit into your weekly schedule. And obviously things crop up. Yeah, you maybe have a day where you're busy and you run out of time, and then you basically get the time pressure of having to squeeze all these runs in, all these distances in, when you might not necessarily have the time, and then therefore the enjoyment drops. You're constantly feeling not stressed, but the pressure of fitting a run in, and again that just takes away from the enjoyment of actually running. So what I'd personally do is reverse engineer it in terms of figure out how many days a week you can run, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Most people can run at least 2 or 3, and I think that'd be the target you go for, especially if you're starting out. And then again, work out how much time you've got on each of those days, and then again from that time you can work out how far you're going to go, rather than saying I want to run a 15 mile or 15k and then wondering, oh, it's going to take me like whatever, an hour, 2 hours, and then struggling to fit that time in. You're better off saying I can run 3 times a week, I can run for an hour twice in the week, and I can run for maybe an hour and a half for the weekend. And then from that you can then figure out how fast you run, how long it's going to take, and therefore how far you can go on each of those days. So once you've got your days and your time sorted, you can start to put together your plan. Now, best case scenario is just spread your days out a little bit. So I'll put a bit of a draft plan on the screen. Let's say you can run 2 or 3 days. Let's go for 3. Just in case what crops up and you end up having to drop down to 2 days a week, it still gives you a decent load of running. 2 would be the minimum in terms of consistently running. If you do at least 2, you'll see the benefit. Let's say you're going to run 3 runs a week, and let's say obviously you got 2 hours in the weekday, and then an hour and a half on the weekend. Let's go with that. So that's the best case scenario. Let's pencil in a Tuesday and a Thursday for your weekday runs. Obviously you'll have a gap day in the middle, and then Saturday or Sunday, whatever's best for your weekend run. So that's your basic plan You've got 2 weekday runs of about an hour, 1 weekend run about an hour and a half, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday or Sunday, and then depending on obviously your pace, you can figure out how far you can go. So if you're running a 6 minute K the weekday, say Tuesday run, a nice easy steady pace, easy pace, you can probably do a 8 to 10k. If you run slower than that, obviously do slightly less, 6 to 8k. If you run quicker than that, you'll be trying to do 10 to 12k. And then the Thursday, again, have a bit of variety in your running. Don't do everything exactly the same. So maybe the Thursday one, you do a shorter one. Maybe vary the tempo, have a bit quicker, or intervals, or flat leg, just play with the speed. So maybe do a 5 to 7k or something in that window, and then the weekend do a slightly longer, slower run. So you got an hour and a half, maybe do up to 15k or longer if you can run a bit quicker. And that's your basic plan for your weekend mileage. We're going off the plan now. Just a rough estimate, so that's 20k for your first week. So how can we increase that safely? There's a rough rule of no more than 10%. So if you're on 20k in that first week, we don't increase it to more than 22 for week 2. And then if you're on 22 week 2, obviously you had 10% on again, which is roughly another 2.5k. So yeah, 10% rule is a pretty good rule to stick to. Every now and then you can go slightly above that. Sometimes I've gone from 20k to a 30k week, which is kind of 20% more than 20% extra. Oh no, it's not. It's 50% extra. But obviously don't keep doing that. You can't do 20, then 30, then 50, then 70. You're going to get an injury. So 10% is the safe way to go. Incrementally knock it up a little bit. Let's say have some variety in your running. Don't just run the same 3 distances on them 3 days at the same pace. That's fine to start with the first week or 2, but eventually you're going to have to change it up a little bit, otherwise you'll just plateau again. You'll be able to run them 3 distances at a set pace. You won't run any faster, you won't run any slower, and that'll be you just running the same thing. As well, it'll get a bit boring running the same distances, etc. Best thing to do, that's how I like to, is just have a bit of variety into your running. Change the distances, change the speed, change the routes. I very rarely run the same route consecutively. I've obviously revisited a route a couple of days, weeks later, try and run it a bit quicker, but I generally vary where I'm running just to add a bit more excitement to my day, find new routes, find new places, things to look at. Today, it's the easy run, did a loose plan of an 8k loop, but I've included all side streets I've never been down, just to try somewhere new, find new places. Like I said, there's no real plan for me for pace. It's easy, so anywhere between 5 and 5.5 minute Ks. But yes, that's the basic plan for weekly mileage. And obviously as you get more consistent, if your speed slowly speeds up, you can slowly increase those distances when you're still running for the same amount of time. So while you're running 6 minute Ks, for example, and you could only do a 10k within the hour, as soon as you speed up to 5.5, you can get another K in, and vice versa, just a little bit extra. If the hour is the maximum you've got, obviously just account for warm-ups and cool down. So give yourself a 1 hour 2k warm-up, probably a 1k cool down, so 5 or 10 minutes either side. So again, if the hour is your maximum and you're doing 6 minute Ks, then maybe do an 8 or a 9k. But again, make it fit into you. Don't squeeze stuff in that won't fit. Fit it into your week so you're actually looking forward to it. You've got plenty of time to do it. You can enjoy what you're doing as opposed to rushing out the door, rushing and running, stressing about getting back. Because I said we've all got lives, all got jobs and kids, or whatever. You got stuff on, other things you need to do. So I like making plans, even if I've got nothing to. So since January, I've got my marathon coming up in October, but I've been running to a plan since January, just because I like to look at it and say, okay, Tuesday, this is what I've got planned, this distance, this time, this pace. And yes, you can tweak it, you can pivot, you can not feel up to it on the day and change the distance or the pace, do that regularly, but the plan's there to refer back to, and it gives me some kind of stability, some kind of pattern of what I want to be doing rather than just running randomly. But obviously this is all just if you want to run more consistently, if you want to try and get better, if you want to just run ad hoc, again that's also fine. I'm just doing this for maybe a beginner runner who wants to maybe start running a bit more regularly and see if that helps them in terms of their running. But yeah, today's question, how do you put together your weekly volume? How do you compile your mileage for the week? What steps do you take? Anything different to what I've suggested today, drop them in the comments. We'll share it with everybody else, other people's opinions. Okay guys, run done. Details on the screen if you're interested. Like I said, just a steezy 8k today. I've probably got one more run at the weekend just to keep my legs ticking over, and then I'll start the marathon training block. Thanks for watching all the way through to the end. Like I said, that was just a quick basic introduction in terms of how would you build a weekly volume, how would you make a plan for your running week. Like I said, they're the rules I'd kind of use. Obviously feel free to do something different. Drop in the comments if you put yours together in a different way. I start doing it that way because it's kind of reverse engineering it, and therefore you're knowing what you've got time wise and frequency of running, and then you're just putting your runs into that rather than the other way around. So but yeah, thank you for watching all the way through to the end. Channel's still growing, it's a couple of weeks old now. I'm doing the best, hopefully I'm getting better, but so I'm doing all this on an iPhone, editing it on an iPhone, so I've got no fancy equipment. So but yeah, hopefully it'll get better as we go along. Cheers for watching, bye.